So we've been implementing ERP systems for almost 40 years now, and we have gone through a lot of decision processes and things to consider when selecting a new ERP solution. And an ERP can mean, accounting software, ERP. In this case, we're talking about replacing your GP and SL potentially with Business Central, Sage Intacct. So these are things that we find are considerations that you should take a look at as you start to evaluate and decide when is the appropriate time to consider making that change. So the first line item there is understanding that the cloud technology today is a SaaS model, and Brian explained that before. It's software as a service. That basically means you're basically renting the software from the developer, and the developer is hosting it in their own environment. They're responsible for the security, the uptime, the infrastructure. So there's no more downtime for upgrades for software. They're typically done seamlessly at pre-designated times during off hours on the weekend. There's no investment in hardware. The computers that you're running the software on just need to have an internet connection. And so, it's a true software as a service model. The second thing to understand is the licensing perspective. I mentioned that it's you're renting the software typically on an annual basis. You're subscribing to the software for a year, and you're renting the software, and you're engaging in that software based upon named users instead of concurrent users. So GP and SL are concurrent users. If you had a 5-user system, 5 people can be in. The 6th person goes to access, and they're prevented access until one of the previous 5 logs out and has an open slot for them to log into. In the cloud world, the majority of all the software is a named user. So even if someone is only going to be accessing the system a few hours a day, it's named user. So each person who potentially will access the system will need a user seat for that. And pricing is typically based on a combination of a module or modules and user count. As far as budgeting for the purchase or for the subscription, you're not purchasing the software. Again, you're renting it, and there's no hardware requirements that you need to upgrade or maintain or pay someone to manage. And there's no ongoing Microsoft maintenance fee that you would pay that you've typically paid us over the years you've been a customer of ours. So that's the annual Microsoft maintenance fee that entitled you to new updates to the software as they came out. That goes away, and you just have the subscription that you're subscribing to the software for. And then the other thing is having an openness to change. So you have to have a mindset to adopt new processes, to leverage new functionality, not just to do things because we've always done it that way. One of the major red flags we sometimes hear for folks who are saying, hey, we're ready to put new software in, but we want the new system to work exactly the same way as our current old system that's an antiquated system that was developed 30 plus years ago. An openness to change, an openness to leveraging new functionality, and openness to leveraging new processes is really important. And that's the value that Intelitech can provide to make sure that you're leveraging those new processes, functionality, and can utilize those to be more efficient and not just do things the same way that you've always done them. The next consideration is integrations. Integrating Dynamics GP and SL on-prem solutions sometimes was a challenge with other disparate operational systems you may have used. Maybe you had a cloud application, maybe you had another operational system that you used. Traditionally, more likely than not, cloud technology, including Business Central and Sage Intacct, are designed to be connected with other cloud-based SaaS solutions. So, you can connect with other operational systems that you might be using. And in the case with Business Central, you'll see here shortly in the presentation when Mike shows more information related to Business Central, how it is completely integrated into the Microsoft family of products. how it integrates seamlessly with Outlook, how it works seamlessly with CRM, almost so much as the user doesn't even know what application they're in. They're just working the way that they want to work. The other thing is to really identify the requirements that you have for a new system. Maybe there's things that you've always wanted to do and couldn't or didn't think that you could with GP or SL, and you want to make sure you have a list of those future wishes and goals that you want. Also identifying where your growth plans are, or your expansion plans, or your future needs, what they might be, as well as also remembering the things that work very well for you today, and making sure that we address those as we evaluate the new system for you. New cloud technology is full of automation and workflows. So if we think about how we work today with AP processing as an example, AP automation is the hot topic that everybody's talking about, that everybody's looking to roll out and deploy. A vendor might send you a designated email address and invoice. That invoice will be read by the system using AI technology. Grab the invoice, enter it into the system as a voucher on hold, have an attachment of that invoice right to that document transaction, and then route that through a pre-designated approval process so that the appropriate people can see it when they need to see it, approve it, and the elimination of paper flowing through the office. And then the other thing is data migration. BC, Business Central, is a separate application from GP and SL. So not only are your users learning a new system, new functionality, new interface, but there's also a data conversion component. And we've migrated many people from SL and GP to Business Central and Sage Intacct. And so converting that data and that history over for you is extremely important to make sure you have some of those historical financial reports that are required or very much needed with your finance teams. Training is very important. Using a new system, you want your staff to be able to use it effectively and seamlessly. I will point out sometimes there's a difference in the methodology of rolling out new implementations. We take a hands-on approach. We help you identify and configure the system to meet your operational needs, and then we provide user training to train you on how the system will work for you, and we hold your hand through that training process. There is online training available, and that can supplement training. Just be cautious that some folks will provide training on an implementation, or say they do. They tell you to review a website link, and good luck on deploying the system and using the system, and it's generic training, not necessarily designed the way that you're going to be using the system. So if you remember back when you were deployed with Intelitech, with your GP or SL solution, we again will provide hands-on training for you so that you can use the system efficiently and effectively. Ongoing support, just like we provide you help desk support today for GP or SL, and you've become accustomed to the quality of support we give you today, we will have that for your cloud solution going forward. There's a slight difference in what we see, the kinds of calls we have though. Calls related to GP and SL many times were related to a software patch that broke something, or there was a suspended batch, or a new Windows update caused the workstation to not be able to run GP or SL. The calls that we get related to our cloud solutions, specifically related to Business Central, are more how-to questions. Microsoft is maintaining that environment. The system just works. And the kinds of questions that we get with our help desks now are, I don't remember how to void a check. It's been 9 months since I did that. Can you help me through that process? Or we'd like to get some new reports. Can you help us get the report started? It's how-to type questions. It's value-add questions that we provide today. And the last point I'd like to make is the partner value. Picking and working with a partner such as Intelitech that has the experience, a proven methodology to make sure that your implementation is going to be a success is as important as selecting what software you're going to go with. Some software solutions will outsource it to offshore resources. Some will broker it out to other partners to implement. When you implement Business Central or Sage Intacct with Intelitech, you have a proven team that has a proven success record. We have a tremendous amount of experience here at Intelitech. We've been growing pretty rapidly over the last 5 years, but the average tenure of our team still remains 16 years of average tenure that we have here. So we have a very experienced team that has been working with the products for quite a while, and we'll make sure that your implementation is a success.
Hi, Rick. I saw a few questions that came in.
Okay.
One that came in, it says, does Dynamics 365 offer a sandbox system?
Yeah, this is Brian. For Business Central, there's actually several environments. You can have a development environment, a sandbox, as well as production. And with the sandbox, they give you 3 environments to work with.
Great. Thanks, Brian.
Another question that came in, it says, so after July 11th, 2028, can we technically still use SL and Intelitech, and will they still provide service?
Great question. We plan on offering support for SL as long as our clients need us to be able to do that. While the product might not be supported by Microsoft, as Brian indicated with the end of life, we plan on still supporting our clients as best of our ability that we can. We look at prior versions of GP and SL when older versions of those products were no longer supported by Microsoft. We continued to support clients that were on those older unsupported versions until such time that it made appropriate sense for them to migrate either to a newer version of GP or SL. And in this case, we'll support you until it's appropriate for you to move to BC or Sage Intacct.
Another one that came in, it says, could we keep SL but move to Azure?
Yes, and we do that today. Many times we have, and that's one of the reasons why we build out and our Azure practice has grown. That there are clients that wanted to and want to get rid of their on-premise equipment and their on-premise data or server room, but not ready to change their application yet. So we're able to move your Dynamics SL or your Dynamics GP instance, your infrastructure there, up into a cloud environment, host that for you in Azure, maintain that for you, maintain that environment, and we can do that for 1 monthly fixed fee. The fee of that is kind of dependent upon a lot of variables, the data size, the number of users, the number of resources that you would need in that Azure environment. But we've been doing that for our clients, and we'll continue to do that. So we'd love to have a conversation with anybody who is not quite ready to change their application, but would like to get up into an Azure cloud environment.
And then we have one more question that until we move into the next survey. It says approximately how much time is required for an on-premise migration to a SaaS environment?
Well, that's also a good question. It also depends upon several factors that would be unique to you, the individual client. We typically find that it's a 3 to 6 month window. And again, that depends on various factors, the number of modules that would need to be deployed, the number of users, the complexity of your environment, as far as the different processes and structure that we would have and set up and configure for you. But a good budget timeline would be on the very short end, 3 months, over to maybe a more practical planning, conservative number might be 6 months.
Thanks, Rick.